Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy April showers, April 11th. I am very happy to be broadcasting from the iconic location of Rittenhouse Square. I was actually born in the city of Philadelphia. Let me say hello to you. How are you today? It's Sunday. How you feeling? Check in with yourself, number one. It's raining here, but it's barely raining. It's a drizzle. I have something very exciting and interesting for you today. A little bit of history, little bit of a trip down memory lane, and incredible insight, incredible lessons to learn. So I'm in Rittenhouse Square. I'm going to pan around for you a little bit. If you are from the area, you know this place well, but if you're not, you may find it interesting. This is an iconic place, lots of history. So I'm in the middle of Philadelphia here. Well, sort of. So I'm going to pan around for you, let you see a little bit of this. And then I'm going to walk you over to a place that has historical significance if you are a Napoleon Hill fan. This is Rittenhouse Square. This is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, an iconic square with lots of history. I'll give a little bit of a preamble here. Thank you so much for the likes, the hearts. Hey, Mandy, welcome. I think you're really going to like this today. So stay with me because there's a lot of great stuff I think you're going to get from this. So I was born in this city. What prompted me to do this video today was coming off of a big weekend where I released my first compilation book. Mandy was one of the co-authors who's actually listening now. I was reminded of the story of Napoleon Hill. This story, if you don't know it, is going to really inspire you. A couple blocks from here, Napoleon Hill actually lived a couple blocks from here, and I'm going to share that story with you. And this whole idea of this story, after coming off this weekend, just brought it to the surface, and I want to share it with you. So I'm going to be walking over to that location here in a couple minutes. As I open up the story and walk around, I want to share a little bit of Rittenhouse Square with you. It's quiet, but there's some people out, so I want to share this place with you as well. You can see the city, that's Liberty One, the city sky in the back there, city skyline. I believe that's Liberty One. It might be Liberty Two. And over straight ahead up here is a street called Locust Street. So I'm going to share that with you. And I'm going to be walking down Locust Street. Now, what happened is I want to paint the picture for you about Napoleon Hill. So it's the fall of 1927. So we're going back to almost 100 years ago. And for those of you that know the Napoleon Hill story, if you don't, Napoleon Hill wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. Amongst other writings, Think and Grow Rich was the most popular. It's caused me to revisit this story because it was the book that set me on my journey to be here. And when I think about my release of the compilation book that we just did, it brought this story up. So I wanted to not only revisit it for myself, for my own personal perspective to increase, but everything's a teaching tool. So if I'm learning and I can impart a lesson to you through history, through story, through location, through physicality, I absolutely want to do that. So if you can hang in with me today, hang in. If you can't, jump into the playback. Mandy, okay, it's on your bucket list. Yes, this is an iconic place. But I want to go back in history. Let's go back to the fall of 1927, if you will. And Napoleon Hill has had success in his life to this point. But in the fall of 1927, he finds himself destitute. He's back with his family in West Virginia. He's not doing well. So he's going through this process, and tell me if you can relate. He's thinking about what am I doing with myself? What's my calling? And now this is the guy who wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. One of the cornerstones of Think and Grow Rich is having a definite purpose or a chief aim. More specifically, a definite purpose. So he finds himself in the fall of 1927 with no definite purpose, coming to the realization, going back to his own work. He wrote the book. He's going, I don't have a definite purpose. He doesn't have money. He's failed on his obligations. He's put pressure on his family at this point. His family is reeling, and he's searching for answers. So you know what he decides to do? Imagine yourself in this situation. You don't have money. You failed on your obligations. Everything that you promised your significant other has not come to fruition the way you've wanted it to. You're leaving people hanging. You wrote the book on success. You wrote the book on what it takes to be successful. And here you are, foundering and flailing and failing on your obligations. So you know what he does? He gets an idea about what he wants to do with his book. It's almost 20 years since he made a promise to Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in the world. And this promise, by the way, let me know if you can hear me all right. I'm just going to take this in too, by the way, because I love the experience and I'm going to tell this story, but I also want to share with you. It's just beautiful here right now. And so I definitely want to share this with you. So Napoleon Hill is reflecting back on the promises that he made to one of the richest men in the world. That was Andrew Carnegie. And he realizes that Andrew Carnegie told him it would take 20 years to complete this project. And he's getting close to that 20-year mark, and he hasn't completed the project. So he's stirred up at a deep level. And he tells his family, I'm going to go to Philadelphia. I'm going to get these volumes of success that have been in storage. I'm going to go back. I'm going to revisit them, and I'm going to bring them to the world. Now, can you imagine being his wife, where he's already failed on obligations, and now he's going to come to Philadelphia. He's going to leave his family again to come up here on a pipe dream. To try, he's not a big name in this space, and he's coming up to Philadelphia to get this publication done, because at the time, Philadelphia was known for printers. Hint, hint, right? Ben Franklin, printer. So these cities got a reputation of having a lot of printers. It's a big city at the time. A lot of reputation for that. So he comes to Philadelphia. He takes a train. He borrows money from family members, including his son, who has a little business selling eggs. So can you imagine having to borrow money from your family and including your son so you could go away, take a train, and come to the city of Philadelphia, which is where I'm at right now. I'm actually going to be walking over to the location that I'm going to share with you, because Napoleon Hill walked, I'm imagining that he walked around Rittenhouse Square many nights when he came here, just thinking. Can you imagine? You ever been in that state when you're trying to come up with a solution and it's like your brain won't rest. It's like your brain is on overdrive. It keeps thinking, and you feel the awkwardness of it. And you're trying to find that solution. You can't find it. I imagine that Napoleon Hill walked these grounds after he arrived to Philadelphia, wondering what it would take. But there's a moment of clarity before he leaves West Virginia that prompts the whole thing. He has this moment of clarity that this is going to work. Even though the odds are against him. He's got no money. He's penniless. He's borrowing money from his family. He borrowed money from his son. He gets on the train, comes up here with this belief that he can make it happen after he reclaims his definite purpose. So just imagine he's walking around here, and I'm going to take you right to the address to tell you the rest of the story. So he comes to Philadelphia, settles on a location, which I'm going to walk to right now and share it with you. And his goal, now again, he's leaving his family. He's got children, right? He leaves his family to come here, and he's going to live here. He doesn't even know how long he's going to be living here. Let me just grab your shares, by the way. Thanks, Mandy. He's under pressure to find a solution. Say hello, by the way, if you've been to the city of Philadelphia, if you live in the area. He comes to Philadelphia. The address is 1718 Locust Street. He moves here with the whole burning desire, definite purpose, burning desire to get this volume of success to the world. He sets up shop. He starts reaching out to every publicist, anybody that can publish this book. He calls everyone. And it's just no. Wave of rejection after wave of rejection. Everyone says no. We don't want the book. We can't do it. And then one night, in an exhausted state, After he had exhausted all what appeared to be all of his efforts, he kept believing. And then sure enough, he gets a name, Andrew Pelton. Andrew Pelton was a book publisher from Connecticut who was familiar with his work. He was actually an advertiser in one of Napoleon Hill's magazines that had some success. So now he says, I'm going to reach out to this gentleman, Andrew Pelton. Now he's in the city of Philadelphia. He sends this letter to this gentleman up in Connecticut who he had a relationship with, who he felt could bring this to the to get this book to the world. Here's the location right here. So I'm going to share it with you. This is exciting. And I'm going to tell you the history of it now. So here we are. This is the location. This is Locust Street. You can see that. Not sure if you can see that. That's Mozart Place. And what I'm standing in front of right now, I'm actually standing in front of the Curtis Institute of Music. So there's more history. It's a little busy here right now. I'm going to get in front of the building. Let me just say hello to you. Hello, Ivy. Andrew Pelton. Yes. Yeah, the building's, it's an incredible spot. I'm going to walk around so you can get a chance to see it a little bit too. But so here's the address right here, that Napoleon Hill. And I'm not sure if it translates, but can you see 1718? This is the address. Packed his suitcase and kissed his kids goodbye. It's so funny. That's what's playing on the radio with Alanis Morissette. But that's basically what happened. Napoleon Hill packed his suitcase, kissed his kids goodbye, and ended up right here, 1718 Locust Street. And he lived here to get this goal done. He connects with Andrew Pelton. Now here's what's really interesting. He sends him a letter. Andrew Pelton agrees to come and meet him in the city of Philadelphia. I'm going to walk around so you can see it from across the street. What Napoleon Hill does, he leaves here. He borrows more money from his brother-in-law. He rents the fanciest hotel room he can find. He goes and checks into the hotel. He's dressed up. He's got money. He's $50 back then. And he's carrying it in his pocket, making a scene in the hotel. So everyone's like, who is this guy? And he's tipping everyone so that when his guests arrive, they think, it sends a signal that he's important. This is like kind of the fake it till you make it part, I guess you'd call it. But again, that's what happened. I'm just giving you the story. Makes an impression on him. The guy sits down. He goes through the volumes of success. And Andrew Pelton looks him in the eye after he paused. He looks at the wall after reading scrolling through the manual. He looks at Napoleon Hill and he says, I'm going to publish your book for you. Boom. Flashpoint moment. I got chills all over, because from that moment, now it wasn't an instant thing. We're talking 1927. This is the fall of 1927. So it's not like today where you like, boom, you can do things so quickly. This process took a long time, because after he said yes, but the good news is he got instant royalties. He was flat broke, penniless. He borrowed money. That's where his money was coming from. So he gets this deal, makes a deal. They draft the papers up. He gets the royalties. He's off and running. The project starts. However, there's more to the story. He runs out of money. I'm going to cross the street here and show you the other side. He runs out of money. Now the project's in motion, but he's got to come up with money. Meanwhile, his family's at home. They're still stressed. He's still failing on his obligations and his promises. So he gets a job in West Philadelphia as a car manager, sales manager at a car dealership. And he does that for 3 months. And I'm going to kind of shorten up the story here. The royalty checks started to come in. He was expecting $1,000, which would have been roughly, $15,000 in today's money. So that $1,000 never came in. He did get some money coming in the summer of that year of 1928. So the calendar turns 1928 summer. He starts to get some money coming in. He projected that the big royalty checks, and he promised his wife, would come in the fall of 1928, but they didn't. But what did happen, the first quarter of 1929, the checks came in at $2,500 a month. And now in today's money, That's roughly $37,000 to $40,000 a month. So think about this. You're going broke. You put everything on the line. You come up here, and now you finally hit it. And you got, imagine you right now. Imagine if you had something you brought to the world, and now you're making $40,000 a month consistently. For some of you, that's life changing. For others, you're like, I want to make $1 million a month, whatever. But it's relevant that he started to have this money come in, and they experienced a level of success that he had strived for. And it's a pretty amazing story. What most people don't know is it started, right here at this location right here. Let's see, they set up this restaurant stuff, so I apologize. I can't really show you the full, but the building, and I don't want to get hit by a car because, but anyway, here's the building right here. And there's a bus coming. Oh, let me get out of the way. So let me know what you think about this story. Does it touch you? Does it move you? And the reason why, again, I want to share it is because getting the book done, I'm just reminded about what it takes, what it truly takes to bring something to the world. And I got to tell you, there's parts of the story where Napoleon Hill, in his writings to his wife, where he felt like a failure. He said, I would do anything just to tell me, I would pay anything just to tell me that I can make it, that what I'm doing is worth it. Because there's moments when you feel like it's not worth it. I'm going to walk back the other way, everyone. So this story really draws a lot. It draws, you could argue with the method, right? You could argue with putting his family in that situation, and the thing that I thought about was, imagine, like, his wife was perfect for him, because not many people would hang in there for this. They wouldn't hang in there for this charade. But when you believe something at a deep level, and you believe it at your core to be true, and you're in your heart, there's something that's greater than you that pulls you. And when you tap into that, you absolutely know it. And I feel like we've tapped into that with this book. It's Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here. The book is still for sale, by the way. If one of the authors is on here, they want to share the link. Mandy, if you have the link, or somebody could share the link. Let me just grab your shares here. I want to honor you for being here today. I'm in front of the address. I'll show it to you again right here. And it's amazing. I love the fact that the building is beautiful. And I love the fact that it's the Curtis Institute of Music is a very well-known place where top musicians come here to learn their craft. And this is the actual place that Napoleon Hill lived while he was here in Philadelphia to bring his gift to the world. So here we go. Let me just grab some shares. Yes, definiteness of purpose. Copy is a moth. Let me see. Yes, 1927 was the year your mom was born. You got to come to Philadelphia. We were planning a big event here, by the way, but with COVID, things got messed up. But I still want to do something with one of the events where we draw in some element of Philadelphia, maybe the Rocky Steps, something like that. Definiteness of purpose. Excellent share. Those birds are heavenly. Yes, they are. I'm going to walk back that way now so we can hear those birds again. Yes, he changed his mindset, but when you learn the story, he was in doubt himself. Love the dark contrast of the trees. Yeah, the sun is actually popping out, so maybe I can share the sun with you. Perfect timing, right? The sun's always there, even when we don't know it. It takes grit under pressure to find a solution. Live, claiming your definite purpose. So some of you, you might feel in that awkward place, and you get down on yourself for feeling there. But I want to encourage you during that time. That's the giving birth. So, like, if you could just create a little bit more awareness when you're in those moments, to know that when you're feeling that way, something great's about to happen. Like the sun is about to burst through the clouds, just like it is right now as I'm getting to the tail end of this story, and you can see it. By the way, I'm honored to share this story with you, and I'm honored that you jumped in this. And if you bought the book, if you bought my book, please let us know. If you bought Mandy's on here, one of the co-authors, we could share that. Let me just grab your share. 1718 Locust Street. Yes, that's it. That's the address. It was 1718 Locust Street. Andrew Pelton was the man's name. That he was the book publisher. That, ironically, he's in Connecticut. Napoleon Hill's in Philadelphia. So it was ironic that he he came here to Philadelphia, and then it ends up being from Connecticut. But it all worked out great. Yep, look at those buildings. I'll give you more of that here before we close out. The history is very cool. It's a historical thing that most people don't know about. Like, if you think about it, like that building has significance in the Napoleon Hill story. But it's it belongs to the Curtis School of Music. So maybe I'll approach someday. Maybe I will. It would be a really cool thing to get a tour of that building. Maybe I'll do that at some point in the future. Hey, Leo, what's up, Leo? Leo just created a really cool animation for our best-selling book that we just had on Amazon. Your turnaround story starts here. It's 12 incredible stories and the lessons learned. I've been there. I know, Leo, I know you've been here. Man, we gotta meet up here. We should do something here one day. Maybe do some photography, have some fun, do some video. Yeah, the royalties came in after he thought they were going to come in, but they came in, and when they came in, they came in. Philadelphia freedom, I love you. So I was born a couple miles from here, not too far. That way. I was born that way. I was born here in the city of Philadelphia, the birthplace of freedom. $2,500 a month is like, I know, it's crazy. $2,500 a month. You think about it today, but back then it was almost $4,000 a month. I don't know about you, but $40,000 a month, that's some life-changing income if you manage it right, right? Hey, Margaret from Iceland, how are you? Yes. Stories are always enlightening. Thank you very much. Glued. What else do we got? The story guides you to the mindset that there are possibilities in life to be successful. And I want to encourage you that and I say this to you, what pulls you through these times? Because I don't want to sugarcoat it. To me, when you go to do something that is outside your comfort zone, there's a wave coming for you. I don't want to sugarcoat it. There's a wave coming for you. It's a wave of rejection. It's a wave of your own inner dialogue. It's a wave of you can't do it. It's a wave of you failed. It's a wave of all of it. It's a part of it. And the thing I found that pulls me through that, and it's one thing, it's my heart's purpose. The more I can get into that, the more I can take this step. Like, for example, today I'm like, should I go do this video today? Should I go do this today? We just got our book. Maybe I should be doing something else. And I said, you know what? If I can't do it or I'm thinking doubt about it, I must do it. So I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up and I'm going to bring you something different, not just knowledge, like an experience, a walk down history, a walk through history of someone who changed the world through a book, and through that book that still reverberates today in the minds and the hearts of everyone that reads it. It was the very first book that I read was Think and Grow Rich. Now the book, the success in here was not Think and Grow Rich. I just want to clarify. It was the Laws of Success and the volume Laws of Success. And there was these big volumes of books. There was a series of them. I want to say there was 16. The number changed. I had to go back and check my thing. There was 16 and there was 17. He changed them a couple times. He revised it. He worked like 18 hours a day. Once he got the royalties, once he made the deal with Andrew Pelton, he worked like, first of all, his wife had to mail him up the volumes. And he worked like 16, 18 hours a day to revise these things on a typewriter to get these things done. And these books, they would sell for like $60 each. And there was multiple sets. So if someone bought the $60 book, they would come back and buy the whole thing. And I think and again, $60, that's $60 in today's money, by the way, $60 in today's money. And then with all the volumes, I want to say it was close to like $1,000. So that's how much it was. And really, the other thing that's out of place about it, it wasn't even a book. It was really a course that they put into this book. And can you imagine like somebody trying to process that back then? But it worked. It absolutely worked. And you know what? Your thing is going to work as well. So let's, I'm just going to take a little peruse around to close this out. Let you see Rittenhouse Square as the sun is peeking through the cloud. There it is. And it's a beautiful day. I'm going to take a walk around, enjoy the day. And Mandy, we have a call tonight. We're going to be jumping back on with the co-authors to round out this incredible weekend. If you have not purchased the book, I encourage you to buy the book. It's a life-changing book, and I've had people already read it and tell us how meaningful it's been for them. and little doggies around. So I'll give you a little bit of lay of the land here. Thanks for joining today, and let's give you some of the backdrop here. The long slumber of winter is over. Nature is slowly waking up. Pretty soon you're going to see more amazing colors. Here's some trees, they're still bare. Soon enough, it's going to be raining. Thank you, appreciate it. Very nice. Enjoy the rest of your day. It turned out to be really nice. It poured all morning here. I spoke to doing what you're doing right now. Ordering the book. So someone's ordering the book. Thank you. Yeah, share this. So this was my way of just bringing something to you. And I want to say thank you to everyone that purchased the book. Thank you to everyone that supported our journey, myself and the co-authors. To unravel, because we're just getting started. Not only for me, for these co-authors, life is exploding for them in positive ways. And I'm humbled. I'm excited. I feel like I'm finally in my purpose. What I've been living, the past, well, really it's a lifetime, but more consciously in the past 6 years. So I'm going to say goodbye to you for now. Send you lots of love and get a copy of the book. I'll share the link after I'm done here, but there you go. Sun's coming out. I'm sending you lots of love. Lots of visions of dreams coming true. You got this. I hope this uplifted your spirits. Have a great day.